Good morning and welcome back. It's Monday morning. First of all, I just wanted to mention I did film a video on Friday. I've just had some difficulty uploading it, so I will try to put that out today as well. I did do the video. I think I definitely rambled a bit and it was a little too long, so I've had difficulty uploading it, so maybe I'll try to edit it today and get that out as well. But I did do it, so I have kept to my commitment. Today I just wanted to talk about some realizations I've had about myself, and maybe you can relate as well. Mainly that I thought throughout my life I've seen other people or situations as adversarial. I've seen people as my enemy. But what I've ultimately came to the conclusion is that I am my own worst enemy, and I always will be. And that's probably the case with you. Now you might think, well, I have people in my life that are definitely enemies. I have this boss that has it out for me, or my spouse is abusive, or I have these difficulties with my children. But the truth is, those are just obstacles. Those are things that you can overcome. The true enemy is within. And I think that is the case for everybody. That is who we are fighting. And it's not necessarily our faults. It's fault. It's our conditioning. It's our relationship with our parents, our family, friends, our culture, society. It guides us in a certain way. And it makes us believe that there is these kind of strict rules and guidelines for life, and we put those on ourselves, and then we question why we're out of sync with ourselves. The truth is, a lot of those rules and those these stipulations, these kind of restrictions we put on ourselves, they don't really exist. What I'm learning more and more is that those things are there to kind of keep us in line. There's that experiment with these rats where they electrify the gate to their cage, and every time they try to get out, they get electrocuted. And after a certain amount of time, they turn off the electrification of the gate, but the rats never try it again because they've been conditioned to believe that they can't, or kind of that saying that the gates to hell are locked from the inside, right? It's these restrictions that we've put on ourselves, these rules that we've put on ourselves, and we never question. That's one of the big things for me, was questioning why I say, like, oh, well, I can't do that thing, or it wouldn't be right to do that thing. Well, but I also had this inclination to do those things, and I wanted to do those things. This isn't anything bad, but just things that don't necessarily aren't appropriate. And I'm starting to push those boundaries more and more, and it honestly feels good. There's definitely something to that. Like there's this YouTuber. I can't remember his name. It was like a young guy. He's kind of annoying, but he has this great thing where he's like, nothing matters. He's like, I'm just gonna go to the mall, and he's going down this escalator and over the food court, and he just starts saying, hey everybody, hi, look at me, and everyone looks over at him. Well, half the people look over at him. Most of the people just kind of shrug and go on with what they're doing. Some people give a little smirk, some people are a little angry, but at the end he's like, what's changed? Is my life worse because I did that? I embarrassed myself, but how worse am I off now? Is the police coming to arrest me? Is my boss gonna fire me? No, life just goes on. And it's just some small example, but it relates to the bigger things as well. We're afraid to kind of do what we want, push our boundaries, be a little selfish, but you only get one experience here, as far as we know. I mean, I think it's deeper than that, but this is the experience you're having now. So why live just according to all the rules? Why be just like everyone else? Why conform? Why follow these, strict ideologies? We need to think for ourselves more. That's how we will find peace, is speaking up for ourselves, standing up for the things that we believe in. That's true strength. That's the stuff that will fulfill you, not trying to fit in with society, making people like you. I've done that. I'm a people pleaser, to the, to a very deep degree. I'm that person who can sense when somebody else is uncomfortable, and I have to act. But part of what I've realized is I don't. It's not my responsibility to make other people feel comfortable. It's nice, but when I'm coming from a place of lack, I'm not doing well myself, and I'm also taking on the burdens of others. That's a recipe for disaster. You're never going to get out of that. So sometimes you have to be selfish. Sometimes you have to work on yourself and fix yourself, and then you can be that source to other people. But you can't do that when you're struggling yourself. It just doesn't work. You just spiral down more and more. And that's been a huge realization for me, that sometimes you can't be there for people. Sometimes they have to figure it out themselves. And just the same way, if somebody's always there for you, you're not going to learn. If you're always there for that person, they're not going to learn. So it's a difficult thing, but sometimes being a little more selfish is a good thing. And I know that my life is better off by doing that, by sticking more to like what I truly believe, even if that doesn't go along with what society believes. And right now, I don't want to get into politics, but I think more than ever, it's very important to have an open mind, to see nuance, and to trust your gut, trust your heart. If things don't feel right, if the beliefs of the people around you don't fit with what you believe, then you need to stand up for that. You need to account for that. And I don't want to start rambling, so I'm going to end it there. But I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll do this again. All right, peace out.